My name is Anthony. My name is Anthony, and this is the beginning of our documentary. Does it really all have to make sense? Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I need to finish something that was done a time ago. A friend of mine named Anthony, or A, started a documentary called Spicy Sins X, or Spicy Sins 10, who knows? It was just a working title at the time, and I don't know what direction he was taking. He had a script, he had things written down that I do not possess at this time, and I wish I did, so things would make a little bit more sense. He kind of started this project without me. This was going to be his first film, his first movie, his first project, and nothing really came about it. We were we were pretty good friends. Wanted to make movies, wanted to start something really cool. We really wanted to change the perspective of cinema. Everything is just regurgitated. The movies, the TV shows, everything's just kind of the same format. We really wanted to break through into something that was very new and fresh, intriguing, and really make something our own. He originally told me about an idea that he wanted, everything pretty much as I'm explaining to you right now, and he had written a script. Everything was so top secret, and he never gave me any details. He never gave me anything. Either there was nothing. Everything he told me was so vague, and nobody really understood what he wanted to actually do. He had a notebook that he wrote everything down in. All I knew was that he had the notebook, and he would never show it to me. He would never let me read it, and he never showed it to anybody. Like I said, everything was so hush hush. He showed me a few tapes, just the physical DV tapes that he had. He'd showed me a hard drive that he had, told me he had files on it. I knew that there was footage that he had, and then, one day he was just going to put it all together and then show us. But, he was so wrapped up in doing what he was doing that he wanted to be the one that directed, that edited, that wrote it, that, and the final product would be his, the whole thing was his child, his baby. He wanted to work start to finish basically just by himself with his crew that he had, but everybody was not given any form or a sense of direction. I'm going to point the camera, we're going to shoot this, here's a vague script, here's a vague, what to say here and there, and nobody really understood. Nobody really knew what was going on. Everybody was just given bits and pieces here and there. The footage was so by word of mouth and through talking with other people that really didn't understand what was going on either. I knew that the shots were very quick, very short. The script was given out. The script was kind of given out in pieces. It was given out in 1 to 2 sentence wording. Kind of, it was almost like you were given a fortune cookie, is what I was told, and you pretty much just read that in the way that he wanted. It was all just very plain and basic, and everybody was told that it would make sense in the end, and to stick with it, to give it some time, let it breathe, let it sit there like a fine wine. And then I kind of didn't hear from him for a while. He had shot scenes. He had footage. He had footage that nobody saw. That nobody got to see the takes. Nobody got to sit behind the monitor and rewatch or go over the footage. It was basically just a lights, camera, action, say these words, cut, all right, give me that little paper, I'll give you another one, here's the lines. I mean, everything was just so odd, and it was very, very weird. But he took all the footage and went into the editing studio pretty much and was putting things together. And after that, after trying to contact him and trying to get a hold of him just to, you know, go out, we never heard back. There was no response. We were trying to change movies and change cinema, and I didn't want to see anything get wasted. And this whole thing kind of felt like a documentary, but in the same sense, it could have been turned into, you know, a new movie. It could have been turned into a new film. It could have turned into, you know, something that I never expected. So talking with some of the crew, very little of the crew, and the actors, I suppose, these people that I no longer keep in touch with. Every time he'd say action and then cut, I mean, he would go away, review the footage, and then, you know, come back and here you go, here's something new. And so there was no real contact with him. There was no really talking with Anthony. There was no communication. But that was, you know, that was his style. That was the new way of doing things. When you're not so used to that type of filming, it can get very frustrating. And I kind of understood that with talking with these people, and they said that he was just very recluse. I mean, everything was filmed in his hometown. It was very, very close to where he lived, and so it kind of made everything easier just on him and the editing process, I suppose. But after a while, I knew that at some point they were very close. It was so close to being done. Everything stopped. Production shut down. He stopped telling everybody to show up. He stopped doing anything with this, and then I didn't hear from him. And then out of the blue, I did hear from him through very short conversation. We all just wanted to see what was really being done, what was really being filmed, what was really being accomplished. And I expressed my love for him. I expressed my care in his project, and because I feel like I had something to do with it, as you know, we were talking before he started filming and doing all that. I said I want the footage. I want to see something. I want to see it. Through a stroke of luck, he agreed to, after pushing, he agreed to meet up and give me the footage. And it was a box which I really never opened up. And he gave me this bag, this brown bag. It had a whole bunch of stuff in it, and I never really, I didn't go through any of it. It was such a win that I got a hold of all of this, all of it. I got a hold of everything he ever really did, as far as I know. And I was ecstatic, and I had told my friend about it, who's also a film major, and we were so excited that we had all this stuff, and we wanted to look through it. And then he moved, and then Anthony moved. A had told me that nothing was in order, that everything was just in the bag, in the box, and where do you start? You know, nothing is organized. It was just thrown together and given to me. And then after he moved and I couldn't contact him and everything, the pandemic hit, and everybody was just focused on everything and anything else. It just got buried. Um, but I had it. Kind of a crazy part to this whole thing. Many crazy parts that will kind of get explained in what I'm doing here, in this documentary, in this little film. He had an incident with his aunt at the time, who had moved in with him, and it's pretty much all I got. But he ended up having to take care of her, and maybe that had something to do with everything. But to stop contacting us, to stop contacting your friend, which I still consider him a friend, but you know, I understand that things happen and people change. The mind changes. If he ever watches this, we want to get a hold of you. We want to be able to contact you. And then coincidentally, I had an incident with my own grandmother that made me remember of Anthony and his situation. And then I remembered the tapes. I remembered the box. I remembered the bag. I remember these things that I had. Eventually, looking through the garage, I found the bag. I found his things and, looked through it. And, everything is going to be displayed in this little film here. And the thing is, I don't believe in coincidence. In recent years, I've come to believe that things are happening for a reason. And A always said that sometimes filming just to film, you would find that significant moment or find some sort of significance in doing what you're doing. Maybe all of this has nothing to do with anything, but who knows anymore? Maybe someone somewhere can piece it all together one day. I did go through one tape. This may be something I put towards the beginning of this film, but it looked as if it was filmed inside of a movie theater. No context, no words. Maybe it was Anthony. I don't know who it was. At the end, you can hear something, and I don't know, maybe it's just my mind. I guess some things just can't be explained, but it was just so eerie, so strange. And I just can't help but think that Anthony was trying to show us something that we just couldn't understand at the time. But maybe once I get through all of this, it'll be our masterpiece. And I want to share a dream, more like a nightmare that has been reoccurring, has occurred more than once, and it just happened to me again last night. And I remember first having this dream when I was very young, and the dream starts off with me inside of this house, and I'm sleeping in my bed, and it's dark. It's dark. It has to be, in the middle of the night. The bedroom door is open. My grandma passes by in the hallway and passes the bedroom, and I get up out of the bed and go out and peek through the hallway. She's entering into another room, which was the bathroom. So I venture through the hallway and I take a left into the bathroom, and the bathroom is very dark. It's like one of those long, like when you look into the bathroom, it's a long bathroom, and there seems to be like another room that would be a closet. That area is very dark. It's just black. It's just darkness. But I can see like the sink and the toilet, and I enter into the bathroom, and I see my grandma just kind of disappear into the void. And so I creep my way in there because I don't know what's going on. I'm a child. And I approach, being curious, I approach the void, the blackness, and I spiral into an area. It was like I blipped into another part of the dream, and I enter into a lighter. Now it's daytime. I fall into this land of grass, and as I look up, I see around me it's a closed in. It's just fencing all around, and there's nothing else. And I notice it's flat, and then it kind of bends into this hill, and it's all grass. It's blue skies. I notice at the bottom of this hill, my grandma is dead, and there's blood everywhere. The three hyenas from the movie The Lion King, they're just laughing and kind of circling her, and they look up at me, and they approach me and I wake up. And I know it's not funny, but it's just this dream I had as a child, and it had occurred in my life a couple of times already, and just last night I had it again. Like I said, I don't believe in coincidence. It's got to be something there.